What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again. Hope you've had a fantastic Christmas, of course. I hope it was great. Let's just get into it because, the Christmas period, it's been a little bit weird for a lot of us this year. There's been a lot of people isolating because of COVID. Christmas was just really tough for me personally, because of Grandad, etc. So really, really tough this year. Everton's game against Burnley got cancelled, rightly so. In the end, I don't understand why it took an extra day, but it did, and I was right. I thought it would get cancelled. So, yeah, we go into a game against Newcastle in a couple of days. It'll be interesting to see if that is on. And, apart from that, let's just talk about transfers. Everton have been linked with Juventus midfielder, attacking midfielder. To be honest, the lad can play various positions. Dusan Kulusevski. If I've said it wrong, I'm sorry, but this is a guy that's tall, quick, great feet, fantastic feet, can beat a lot of people at once. He's got that pace, and bearing in mind how tall he is, he's actually incredibly low centre of gravity. He's got a real football IQ. Like, he'll bring 2 or 3 players into a game and then he'll Cruyff turn, pass it to somebody behind him, taking them out of the game. He's a lad that has got a lot of quality. Arsenal have also been linked with him. And, look, if Arsenal or Everton are in for him, I think it's obvious he probably goes to Arsenal right now. But this is the sort of player we need. Someone who is capable of breaking the lines and can beat people from pretty much anywhere in midfield. Can pop up with a goal. He's a threat from a corner. I really rate this kid. I've seen him a few times. I'm not going to say I've seen him loads. But, obviously he's in the Juventus team. Doesn't necessarily play all the time. But he's got something. He's got something. So, for me, I think it would be a good addition. And when you're looking at what Everton have got in that sort of position now, we're so overly reliant on Abdoulaye Doucouré that it's scary. So, adding that third person in there would be really crucial, in my opinion. Would be brilliant. Would add real balance to the Everton side. But we will see. Also, according to Sky Sports News, Mason Holgate is getting attention from Newcastle. Now, this isn't new. Newcastle were interested in Mason Holgate in the summer, along with Brighton. Brighton sort of were more concrete than Newcastle, and nothing happened. Now, you've got Newcastle needing a centre-half. You've got Mason Holgate, who does have Premier League experience, has also played in the Championship for West Brom at various different positions, i.e. right back. I think he even played left back a couple of times for West Brom as well. And obviously he's a centre-half. And for a team like Newcastle, Holgate would be a good signing because he hasn't done it at Everton. There was moments where I thought he was brilliant, and there's been moments where I thought he was horrendous. And he's just not consistent enough. But I think Newcastle, and more importantly their fans, they realise where they are. Yes, they might be the richest team in the world, but they're not going to attract the big names in football right now because of where they are in the league. They're not. They're probably going to go down. And who's going to want to play for them if that's the case? Who's going to want to drop down a level in English football? I don't think many people will. Whereas Mason Holgate has done it. He's played there. So, for me, if we can get some money for Mason Holgate, I'm all for it. It doesn't really matter how much. Some people are touting ridiculous figures around. 22 million, 20 million, 15 million, 10 million. Honestly, you offer me £10 million, I'll let him go. I don't even think necessarily he's worth that, but I think just to get players off the books that aren't good enough would be really valuable. And equally, this is money that we can reinvest in a loan signing or, somebody else. It's obviously we need a centre-half. That may well be a loan for this season. 10 million quid helps with that. It helps with the wages. It helps with a loan fee. And And there's some decent centre-halves about that aren't getting game time at the minute. So there's opportunities for Everton to go and get someone. But Mason Holgate, yeah, I think long-term, I think he fits the bill. I think he certainly fits the bill at Newcastle. And I think he'd do a decent job. Calvert-Lewin has been linked with a move away from Everton. Obviously, what's happened with Aubameyang is everyone can see Aubameyang and Arteta have fallen out. It's interesting, really, to see the reaction from the Arsenal fans, because some of them are on Aubameyang's side and some of them are against Arteta. It's very similar to Luka Dean and Everton. But what I will say is it surprised me how quickly Calvert-Lewin's been linked with the Arsenal, the Arsenal gig. Last season, there was no way Calvert-Lewin would have left Everton for Arsenal. No way. We were under Ancelotti. We sort of had all of the things were looking good. This time last year, we were second in the league, and it started to fall apart. Now, I think if you have Calvert-Lewin, if he wants to go to Arsenal, I don't think he necessarily would push for a move, but I equally don't think he'd be disappointed. They've got a lot of assets that he could use. They've got players who can create goals now. They seem to be fighting the top four and they're doing very well at the minute. It's a tough ask. So look, Calvert-Lewin, I'd love to stay in January, and I suspect he will. I'm not exactly sitting here hoping he leaves. Obviously not. I just think Everton will be under pressure in the summer with Calvert-Lewin, because why wouldn't he be? He's a top striker, and Everton are currently 15th in the league, albeit partly because he's not been in the team. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. If there's firm interest, it will be tough. But it would also be a massive fee. I mean, they're talking about 60, 70 million. I think you could probably argue on the plus side of 75 million, yeah. And that would allow you to go and bring in strikers, quality. So we'll see. I'm not for it. I think we're going to be under pressure. Everton have also been linked again, which it just really pisses me off. Aaron Ramsey. I'm not even going to go into it, but Everton have been linked with Aaron Ramsey again. And another bit of news, which I've just read. It was one of the articles. What I do is I type in Google Everton and I summarise some of the comments. I say we get linked with tens of players a day, and I don't see the point of discussing all of them. But one player that we've been linked with in one article is Anthony Martial. And again, this is a kid that will get offers from teams in the Champions League. His attitude would concern me. He would come into Everton and be a big fish. There's no getting around that. But I just can't see that happening. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I can't see Everton managing to get Anthony Martial. So I can't see that happening. And then, of course, customary for this time of year, of course, Philippe Coutinho. Apparently, yet again, Rafa Benitez is a manager that wants Philippe at Goodison Park. And again, I don't think that happens. I just don't think it happens. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm not saying he wouldn't add quality to the side. He obviously would. He's a very good player. But he's not going to come to Everton when there's going to be other clubs who are in Europe sniffing around his name. He's not going to join Everton. So, pointless comment. But, yeah, I think the most concrete ones is obviously us signing a left-back, which means Luka Dean will be off. Michaelenko. Bringing him in January the 1st, I think it'll be announced. I don't know if it's a good signing. From what I've seen, it looks a good signing. 22 years old, can do everything, ticks all the boxes. We'll have to adjust to the Premier League. Losing Luka Dean will be a huge blow. Huge. Everton are going to need a centre-half because it may Holgate may well go to Newcastle early in January. What's the point of them waiting late? They need him now. And Everton need a right back. So that's where I think Everton are strengthened. I think we'll bring in 3 or 4 players. I think it'll be a centre-half, a right-back and an attacking midfielder on top of the left-back that we've already signed. And we'll see what goes on. But, guys, apart from that, I am leaving it there. Thank you ever so much for tuning as always. And I'll keep it real. I'll keep it real. There may be a match preview for the Newcastle game. I don't know what's going on with it. I've heard nothing. I haven't texted anyone to really try and find out. But be interesting to see if that's going ahead, i.e. how many players are out of isolation, more players in isolation, injuries, what's going on at Everton, what sort of team are we going to field. Be interesting to find that out. So there might be a preview tomorrow. Who knows? Guys, I'm going to leave it there. Have a fantastic day. I don't even know what day it is. Have a fantastic day and I'll see you soon.